All right, Joel Wallace, and this is my fifth and final technology. I selected Spelling City. Spelling City is a very engaging resource that allows students to practice their spelling words in different ways. I think sometimes students get a little bored of just the routine of practice, tests, and things like that. Quizzing each other, things like that structure. The purpose of Spelling City is that it allows students to learn and practice their spelling words before eventually being tested on them. The audience that this is geared towards students, I would say primarily at an elementary level. It's not restricted to that, but that's what I would normally gear it towards. The HD standards I went for would be first would be number 5, that of a designer, A, which is using technology to create and adapt and personalize learning experience that foster independent learning and accommodate learning differences and needs. Some students do really well just sitting with paper and pencil, practice quizzes, things like that. But some students just the ability to sit down on a computer and practice these kind of ups it for them. And then my second one was that of an analyst, being able to use technology to design and implement a variety of formative and summative assessments that accommodate learner needs. All right, so for Spelling City, all you do is go to spellingcity.com. All right, once you're here, there is a free portion, but there's also the premium membership. The school I work at does provide the premium membership, which is very nice, but even if you don't, there still is a portion that you can use on your own. So here, for me, for the teacher, I've already created an account. Well, if I remember my password. All right. So the initial setup can be a little bit time consuming because you do have to add a list, each list that you want to do. Like I said, my school, we use this, and so several years back, we just created a list so we can just import and share them with each other, so it makes it very convenient. But if you're the first using this, then you have to go through and actually create the list. So as you see here, I went through and I just created a very simple, basic list. Very simple to do, but can take a little bit of time, especially, here I put in very simple words, only for, the list we use now usually is about 20 words, and fifth grade level words are pretty tough, so it can be a bit time consuming for that initial setup, but once you get it going, it does save it, so for future reference, you don't have to put it in, every year if you do the same list each and every year. Most of these other portions are part of the premium membership, but the free portion here, your students don't even have to have an account, which is kind of nice. For the premium, for those other features, you do have to have an account for your students, but for your students, you can just send them to to Spelling City here, and as you can see, list 1, here's the teacher. So if they just click on the teacher, takes them in. Here I have list 1. They can click on it and they can preview it, and then they can go over here and click on the games. And this is kind of the main appeal of it, is here it's already selected on the free. They have all these different free activities that students can use to practice their words. And even if you wanted to, Spelling Teach Me is a really good one that I have my students always start off with. It just teaches them their words. But then also the Spelling Test Me, if you wanted to, avoid the paper and pencil test, you can have them do their test on here. Again, since they don't have an account, they would have to show you their scores. You wouldn't have a way to record and track them unless you actually saw. I mean, I guess you could trust your students to maybe write down their scores and things like that, but that's up to you. But yeah, some of these different games are really cool. It also kind of strengthens kids' typing skills. I know some of these, I think it's Test and Teach here. Students have to be able to type things fast enough to keep up, and things like that. So again, to me, this is just a great way to find a new way that students get to practice their spelling words instead of just writing them down over and over again. And this is far more engaging than some of the older styles that we've used in the past.